Thanks for staying with us for Real Change. This last week saw another sad day in our country that makes us certainly say we need to have real change. What happened was it was reported that a 13-year-old girl was shot in the head by what is reported to be a police patrol who are on her way to school in an illegal taxi. And the circumstances seem to suggest that it occurred because the taxi operator, in what he perceived was being driven by a vehicle, and he shouted expletives. And the response to his expletives were gunshots from the vehicle, which is, we are now told, was a police vehicle, and this 13-year-old girl got shot. Thank God that she is in the hospital recovering after surgery. We thank our doctors and the medical team, and certainly those who took her immediately to the hospital. But it is an event that should never have happened, and this is the kind of situation that must change in our nation. We cannot continue like this. It has been reported that these officers have subsequently been charged, and so it is now an issue in the courts. INDECOM engagement again, because without INDECOM, a lot of these things would not get the kind of follow-through action that is necessary. So we appreciate all those who are helping to make our country better and to hold those who are in leadership and who serve in accountability, and so we should. But this incident again disturbs me, and certainly I must confess angers my spirit, because it is unnecessary. It's the kind of thing that should never happen. And so I say, Commissioner, please, you've got to do everything to ensure it doesn't happen again. It has happened too often. It's not the first, it's not the second, not the third. It must cease because it is unnecessary, and we must bring it to a halt as we go forward. If not, a society that loses trust and confidence in the institutions and the people who serve us is going to move a nation to the brink of anarchy. We cannot allow it, and so therefore we must tackle these issues. Justice and fairness and righteousness and truth must become the bed of our society, and to lead us towards peace, so that the prosperity that we all desire can come. It makes me have to ask the question, why does this decimal keep recurring? I believe that a lot of what is happening in terms of how the treatment of our security forces and the public is at the base is going to boil down to an issue of training. How our security forces and the police in particular is trained. And we must revisit that, because if we keep having the same kind of behavioral problems, then it is suggesting that there is a training issue. That you see, if there is not compliance to standards, then it means that the standard is not properly inculcated in those who must maintain the standards. And so I want to suggest that the police in the training must have and rigidly communicate to those in training some fundamental principles, some clear do's and some clear don'ts. Among the don'ts must be a couple of things that I want to suggest here. We must never, it must be said to every officer in training that they must never oppress the people they serve. It must be made abundantly clear that they serve the people, that police officers are servants of the people to protect the people and all the other things that I know the force stands for. But it must be drilled and drilled and drilled, like when we do drill left, right, right, turn, right, wheel. It must be drilled over and over, because must create a mindset change to change a culture a way of thinking to ensure behavior changes. It must be said to those in training, you must never shoot into a crowd or in a vehicle and you do not know the passengers. It must never be done under no circumstances. It must be reinforced. It must be said to our officers in training, never do anything that put citizens at risk. Never. You are protectors of the people. Never put them at risk in any way. The life of a thief or law breaker cannot be more valuable than law-abiding citizens. If that one have to get away, then let him get away. But it cannot be at the expense of a law-abiding citizen who will lose their life, be injured or maimed because we are trying to apprehend a thief. No, no, no. We are putting the wrong priority. This is where faith comes in, and our officers must also be taught faith, that there is a God on whom they must have confidence, that is a God of justice. And so therefore, when you're in that tight situation and he may get away, let him get away with the knowledge that the God of the universe will give them another opportunity to get him, because he may get away today, but he will never get by. There is a point of accountability, but you cannot do so at the risk of injury and harm to citizens. Police officers listening to me, this is how it has to be. You must care for the people and you must seek to protect the people. Those are not mistakes that can be that you can afford to make. No, never release your firearm and in shooting in crowds. No way, under no circumstance. Yes, there may be the rare case where one feel they're being shot at, but even then you have to be careful to shoot in the crowd. Get out of the way of it. You are protecting the people, never putting the people at risk. And then there's a second side to it. The reason for this particular thing, we hearing in this case, it is because the police felt that expletives was used to them. So they are saying, oh, you can't talk to police officer, or this me, or you can't diss police. Let me say in the strongest way, police, who are you not to be dissed? All of us get dissed in life. It is not the fact we are dissed. When we are responsible is how we respond to the bad conduct of others. We must respond responsibly. And when we are in positions of authority and responsibility is entrusted to us, to whom much is given, much more is required. You have to be able to sup it. Come on again in the training. We have to say to our police officers, in this course of duty, that public will diss you from time to time, because there are some indisciplined people who do not behave rightly. So it comes with the turf. But you must not respond wrongly to other person's wrong behavior. We must do what is right, because right is right. There is no other way. So we must train our police that way. Sometimes you have to take this, but you respond with kindness. Of course it will burn you, but you have to bring that under control, because that's why you are the servants of the people. It is the people who pay you. So therefore you serve the people and care for them. Just as how we ought not to diss your authority or the boss, so you don't diss the people. The people is the one who employ you. You protect them, you serve them, you respect them. Does it mean that the people should disrespect the police or those in authority? No way. They ought not to do that. But if they do, you cannot pay them evil for evil. You must recompense them evil with good, because you are their servants, their protectors, not those who oppress them or attack them unwarranted without good reason. So come on, guys, this must change. If we're going to have a just society, a society where we will love and care for each other, then we cannot allow this to continue. It must change. Let's all work for change. Citizens, you must respect the police and respect their authority. But police, you must more so respect the citizens and treat them right. You cannot oppress them in any way. It is wrong, wrong, wrong. You must ensure justice, and you cannot be unjust to create justice. Never, never, never. If you have to be unjust to create justice, something is wrong with the method. It can't work. We must be just and kind and do what's right every time. If we be countrymen, come on, let's build it. Let's change what must be changed so that we guarantee the future and a good inheritance for our children. Gossip.